The one, yeah, perfectly resonated with what happened. Everyone was thinking at the moment, because all the spectators in the crowd gradually picked it up and made a shorter version of it in order to able to chant it in unison repeatedly. Off with his head, off with his head, off with his head. The crowd kept chanting as the ambassador's arrogant look on his face slowly gets replaced with much of a darker, more fearful expression. A trickle of sweat begins to run down his forehead. How does it feel, Ambassador? We suddenly hear Aiden's voice coming from somewhere behind the Ambassador, although Stillwater himself is nowhere to be seen. Damn it, not again, Darren says as soon as he hears Aiden's voice. Is that Aiden? Ambassador says as he looks around, trying to identify the source of the sound. How does it feel to have so many people threatening to end your life at the same time? Aiden says. Take a good look at those people, Ambassador. Do you think that they would care about your high rank? If you met them on the street, do you think they would hesitate to kill you even for a moment if they were given the chance to do so? He pauses. These are the people that you have shunned all your life, Ambassador, Aiden says, and you have done so due to your strict adherence to the belief that all the people below your social rank were nothing but inferior creatures, unworthy of your attention. Do you still have what it takes to stick to your beliefs now, face the direct consequences of your action? What choice will you make, Ambassador? Your time is running out. I can almost imagine Aiden smirk with his closed eyes as he watches the ambassador biting his nail, trying to find a solution that would help him both calm down the crowds to have us killed on the spot. The solution, however, never came. I've changed my mind, the master says, finally, loudly enough so that spectators can hear him. You'll follow the rules. These two gladiators have now become undesirables. If they survive the final round, then they'll be set free as promised. You will continue the rest of the round as you see fit. Then storms out of the fighting arena, as far as away from the booing noises as his legs can carry him. In the meantime, Darren has picked up his sword and shield from the ground. He's now looking towards the place where we have heard Aiden's voice coming from. So, how's it going, Aiden? Darren says. Are you enjoying the show? The empty place that Darren is addressing gives him no answer. You know, I was thinking, Darren says, ignoring the fact that Aiden never answered his question. While I was traveling, I have often heard of these new types of circuses where they involve their audience directly in some parts of the show. I was thinking that since you have such a loyal spectator, maybe we could try some of that. What do you think? Darren pauses for a bit as he were actually waiting for Aiden to say something. Great, Darren says. Here goes. He then throws his sword with breathtaking speed right at the spot where Aiden was standing invisibly a few minutes prior. The sword passes through the empty space where the Stillwater had been standing, and it falls to the ground a few dozen feet beyond that position. Looking a bit disappointed, Darren lets out a small sigh, then he goes to retrieve his sword. Not long after the departure of the ambassador, the announcer officially ends the fight between me and Darren. He declares me as the victor of the battle due to Darren's surrender. We were preparing to return to my division room. The announcer stops me, telling me that I was scheduled to fight to the death with the gladiator from the 6th division right after my battle with Darren. The announcer also reminds me that as an undesirable, I now have the right to refuse to fight until the penalty rounds if I so desire. What deal? There is no deal. He's not offering a deal. What, refuse the deal? What deal? Not long after the departure of the ambassador officially ends the fight with me. Yeah, okay. As I prepare to return to my division room, the announcer stops me, telling me that I was scheduled to fight to the death with a gladiator from the 6th division right after my battle with Darren. Okay. The announcer also reminds me that as an undesirable, I now have the right to refuse to fight until the penalty round if I so desire. So I can become an undesirable, then I can refuse fights. I mean, probably want me to get into there. I don't understand what that. I literally don't understand this. So refusing the deal, accepting the deal, both of them make no sense to me. I'll just accept the deal because I don't understand. Accept the duel. Okay. Sure, accept the duel. Oh, it's a duel. Okay. Fucking hell, I was reading deal. The duel is workable. Because I think if I can if I accept the deal, I'll just surrender if there's anyone important. I decide to accept the duel. I would much rather fight this gladiator now while he's alone than be forced to face him later on the penalty round when we're fighting everyone at once. I notify the announcer that I decided to stay, and an iron gate opens up, clearing the way for my adversary to enter the battlefield. As the man enters the fighting arena, I recognize him as being one of the more proficient fighters in his group. Actually, I'd even go as far as saying that he is comparable in terms of combat prowess to the fighters from the 1st division. His build is also quite impressive, being as tall as Darren and as bulky as Bruce. Just like most of the other gladiators, he seems to be wearing leather armor, but instead of a sword, his weapon of choice seems to be a large double-edged battle axe, which he is now holding in both hands. Beginning of this fight will likely be announced as soon as he reaches me. Now then, how do I go about this? The fight to the death. Fight is to the death, but as an undesirable, I'm no longer bound by such rules. If I want him out of the way, killing him would be easier, but technically I could also break one of his legs or something. It should be enough for my intents and purposes. I mean, oh boy. No, that wouldn't work. But if he decides not to like surrender, if he, even after his broken leg, if he does not surrender, he could just like keep going on until I have to surrender. Then I become an undesirable. But I'm already am an undesirable. I guess I'll aim to incapacitate him. I don't think there's any particular reason for me to try and take his head off. I don't see any reason why I should kill him. I have nothing against the guy. I just want to make sure that I won't need to fight him in the final round. If it was a mage or something, I'd probably kill him, but all I need is to incapacitate him in some way, nothing more. How will I fight him? Do I just try to disarm him first, or should I just focus on hitting him where he's undefended? Would it be better idea to wait for him to make a mistake, or to attack him head on, or take him by surprise? I much rather prefer to have a plan than to rely solely on instinct. Take him by surprise and disarm him. I highly doubt I will be able to disarm him, considering he probably has a lot of strength and he's probably holding on to his weapon quite hard. Take him by surprise, and how would I even surprise him? Wait for him to make a mistake, then disarm him. Wait for him to make a mistake, then attack him directly. My speed is insane, so I think I'm gonna go with that. Because my speed is insane, I should probably go for wait for him to make a mistake and then attack him directly. I probably won't be disarming him, because that's not gonna stop him. Oh, combat technique, that's bad. As I finish planning my attack, the man reaches my position. He stops about a dozen feet away from me, measuring me up with an arrogant smile on his face. He doesn't say anything, but it's pretty obvious what he's thinking. He clearly cannot picture himself losing this fight. We both wait for the announcer to give us the signal, and once our battle officially begins, Gladiator charges at me directly with his axe raised in the air, ready to strike. Wait for him to reach me. I begin to dodge his strike, trying to find the right opportunity to strike back at him. Evading the warrior's attack is definitely not easy due to the large size of the battle axe, but there are more than a few times when I almost feel like I'm not going to make it. Fortunately, my reflexes do not fail me. I always manage to somehow slip away, even in a situation where it would have seemed almost impossible for me to have time to react. I dance around the warrior enough to get him a bit tired. As soon as I catch him in the wrong footing, I attempt to stab him in the chest with my dagger. Unfortunately, even with his unfavorable position, the warrior still managed to parry my hit with the handle of the axe. He then used the same handle to hit me in the head, stunning me for a brief moment. The one moment where was all he needed. He quickly brings down his battle axe upon me, killing me in one blow. Oh wow, that was just death immediately. Damn. I'll see you guys in a bit. So this is not going to work because I don't have the reflexes for it. Wait for him to make a mistake and attack him directly. That's not going to work. Let's try for wait for him to make a mistake and then disarm him. Let's try that. Reflex and strength check. As I finish planning my attack, the man reaches. Yeah, I've already read all this. Ready, and I wait for him to reach me. I begin dodging his attacks, trying to find the right moment to disarm him. Evading that warrior's attack is definitely not easy due to the large size of his battle axe. Then there are almost more than a few times when I almost feel like I think I should go back. I don't think this was a good one because I tried to disarm him. I should aim to attack him or whatever. And there are more than a few times. Let's see how this goes first. When I almost feel like I'm not going to make it. Yeah, I've already read all this. And it's impossible. I catch him on the wrong footing. I use my dagger to make a powerful slash at his battle axe handle, knocking the weapon out of his hand. And once my opponent gets disarmed, I make a quick rush towards him with my weapon. In an attempt to dodge me, he falls on his back, and I immediately put my blade in his throat, not giving him a chance to get back up. Where I killed him, where the gladiator screams all of a sudden, I surrender. This is a fight to the death, warrior, the announcer says coldly. Surrendering is not allowed. Please, the gladiator says in a pleading voice, looking directly at me. Have mercy. I don't want to die. Please, kill him, kill him, kill him. The spectators start chanting in unison. The chants are only getting louder while I'm stand there with my blade at the warrior's throat, thinking of what to do. Oh man, I mean, he would not like chill out even a little bit to kill us. So I suppose it would be right to kill him, right? But this is a different timeline though. Stab him in the right leg, but then the spectators, I think I need the spectators on my side if I really want to get out of this arena alive. So let's kill him. Take my weapon away from the man's throat, and then I use it to stab him directly in the heart, granting him a quick death. The crowds cheer for me as the announcer officially declare me the victor of the fight and then go back to my division area. As the iron gate closes behind me, I turn around and begin watching the next fight in silence. The rest of the battle went by without any particular incidents, without any of the gladiators standing out in any way. However, there seems to be something of a pattern forming with the scheduling of the duels. First of all, neither me nor Darren nor Hardrick are being called anymore for any of the fights. Case was scheduled to fight a few times, but she refused every time, taking full advantage of her undesirable status. Secondly, there have been no more fights to the death whatsoever after my last battle. Most of the battles ended with a light scratch of a gladiator surrendering before the fight even began due to obvious differences in power levels. By the time the third round ended, it was getting pretty obvious that these changes had been specifically requested by the master, the purpose of keeping as many gladiators alive as possible in order to get us to fight them all in the penalty round. And he's probably going to bribe them, like, all of you team up and kill them or whatever.